Okay, so next up we have Connie, who leads a successful buyers agency business in the northern beaches of Sydney. Now, real estate is a tricky space. We've all been there at some point or the other. So today, Connie's going to share an insider's view and maybe some handy tips on how you can make your next real estate purchase that much easier. So with that, I'll hand over to Connie.
Thank you, Kavita. Well, as Anthony did say previously, that it is really difficult to speak about, your profession and what you love sharing and passionate about. In 8 minutes is really quite difficult, but please do reach out. I know Anthony would say the same thing, and not one size fits all, same as Anthony. So everyone's got a different reason why we, look at things or do things in our own professions. So it's great that, you do take time on not just Anthony, myself, but everyone else that's been presenting on BackBone, go through the videos, have one-on-ones, because they're so good to really get to know what everybody does, because it is difficult to really get to know people's things that they do and why they do things. But further ado, I'd just like to share my screen. Can everyone see that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just make that bigger. What's happening here? Okay, you there? Okay, is that on slide share? Yeah?
It is. Thanks,
Great.
Connie.
Fantastic. Okay, so I'm Connie Mastriani. I am the founder of Connie M Property Advisory, and you'll see why I decided to say property advisory, because I do like to see if I can, and my experience as well, cover the full circle of people's property journey. And you'll see why I say that. My next slide will break it down. We're not just a buyer's agency. That's one sector of the business. We do property improvement. I do have a very strong background in construction, bricks and mortar, and design. So that is my main background, and I've done this for now going into my 30th year, believe it or not. And vendor advocacy. Now, why vendor advocacy? We'll go through that as well. So they're the three sections that I've split the company up, and then the new one, which will be relocation, which I'll put that in at the end, and you'll hear a little bit about that. So with buyer's agency, this in particular is really straightforward. The service takes care of everything you need, from purchasing your property, from locating, best off markets, pre-markets, to negotiating and bidding at auctions. And we look after you right through to the settlement, and actually beyond, because you do keep in contact with everybody and you become like family. So again, all those different things would take forever to go through, and some of them are pretty straightforward, but I'm sure there'd be questions if I went into that quite a lot. So the next part of the what we offer is your property improvement. Now, property improvement, having my background in construction and design, we put this into the company because I actually do that when I look at the property. It's easy for me to identify things that maybe someone else can't see, to even just, a little drop that I saw of water on a new place on a skirting board in a basement. And I knew that there was going to be a problem. And I did get a phone call in January that, hello, Connie, what did you mean by, the water on the skirting board? Was there a problem? And I said, yeah, well, it was on the property. I did call the people to come and have a look at it. And yes, it did get flooded. So it's just a matter of, from identifying things when you're buying a property, but then having that skill to identify if that property can be improved to actually build wealth in that property, whether you're investing or whether you're actually buying to live there to then create some equity later on. So that, again, is part of the service that we offer. Vendor advocacy, that's a service of anyone that wants to sell their property that they own at the moment. That is a free service if you then go to a real estate. We do get paid by the real estate agent there. Some people won't tell you that, but they do. If you don't want to sell, I now actually do offer that as, a service anyway. And the reason being, because I did have a client, she was actually going to come on this call today. Unfortunately, she couldn't, but I can share her story. She was going to sell. Again, I looked at her property. What we were going to do is see if we needed to fix anything, if I could identify that there was something wrong with the property, to get just to have a look. We did get some engineers in there. There was some water issues and things happening. And we then made a few alterations to things to create another little self-contained place in her house. And what I did is, because I created a self-contained, I then created a ramp. A ramp was actually put in because the garden had to be pulled out. So instead of putting stairs back in, I decided we'd put a ramp. One was cheaper, but also we created then that second self-contained as a place where it could actually open up a market for an elderly, disabled parents, or, because it was done beautifully and finished off nicely, it's just a self-contained, place in her house. I get a phone call one day and she says to me, "Connie, how much is floor heating?" And I said, "Why do we need floor heating? That's not going to increase the money we get back from this property." And she said, "Oh no, we don't want to sell now. We're going to live here because we love it and we can actually now retire here and never have to move into a nursing home." So, the vendor advocacy doesn't have to be because you're selling it. It's about, how do we put money in there to actually create value for that area, that we're not overcapitalizing and that we're getting a return back. I ended up putting 235,000 into that property. We got it revalued, and it increased by nearly $3 million. So that was the outcome for that particular one. Unfortunately, she's not here because it is sort of unbelievable, but it's a true story. Next one is the rental and relocation, which is something that we've saw there was a need for. Jenny Gill, who is on this call today, has taken that over. She's our specialist. She's got over 10, 15 years experience in this. She's amazing, very patient. She looks after rentals and relocations, and the rental part of it, and why I reached out to her, was that I had a lady, actually a psychologist, that approached me that one of her patients was given some wrong information and some pressure on signing a contract. We didn't actually get her to sign a contract. We had a solicitor then look at it, and it was all fine. And she was just going through some mental health issues. She had a lot of money to spend to buy a property, but we just couldn't do it. It's not right. So, we just said, let's put her in a rental. Let's get her mental health right. When she's ready, the psychologist will reach out to us again, and then we buy. So it's really good for people who are divorced or going through some sort of issue. Also good service for people who are working maybe interstate, or coming here for holidays for a longer period. So any rentals or relocation things, just give us a call for that as well. So my details are there. Visit the website, make a call, and because, as I said, one size does not fit all. And just reach out and be happy to have a one-on-one with you.